Okay, we are live. I don't know about this. I did a last minute trip to Aspen, like literally jumped in my car and headed to Aspen, which is funny because I live in Park City, Utah, and we have amazing colors and whatnot. But here I am, and I'm literally next to a stream. And Annie assures me that it's not too loud and that we can have a high vibe chat here. So thank you everyone for joining us literally live on location. I guess I'm gonna handhold my phone because that's the next 45 minutes. But without further ado, Annie has become a dear close friend to me. I met Annie and her husband Kevin on Caribbean Cruise. And then I got to play with them in Asheville, North Carolina at the 2-day event as well. And then, much to my delight, she told me there that she was going on Canadian cruise with I think 5 or 6 of her girlfriends. And so we were able to spend some more time there and have some really nice chats, impromptu, of course. And one of the things that Annie said to me as I sat down impromptu one morning was like, wow, my ability to connect with new people at Abraham Hicks events and immediately create this relationship is something that, maybe at home would take me like 5 years to develop. So, I mean, I fell in love with Annie. Without further ado, Annie, say hello to all of our non-physical, physical friends tuning in.
I love it. Yeah, thank you so much, Carrie. Thanks for having me. I love looking at your background right now. It's very inspiring to me. And yes, I love that. I was thinking that on the cruise, it's just everybody I meet feels like a best friend, And then I feel like
Mm.
there's so many people here who I love who I don't even know yet, That's the feeling.
Right? Oh
Like,
my gosh, I know. And that's the fun. So lately, after the Abraham Nows, we've been doing a quick chat and on WhatsApp, and it's like, oh, it's like instant best friend, right? Because you're having this ridiculously high vibe step 5 conversation, and one person goes, oh, you're speaking my language.
it's really the best, and I feel like it spoils you in all the best ways because you come back and nothing less than that will do anymore. It's like all the older.
Oh my God, I love that. Spoiled me in all the best ways. Is that what you just said?
Yes.
That's really true. So, we were chatting in the green room before the call. And I just said, I didn't plan a topic. And you said, yeah, I don't really have anything either. And I said, I just feel like whenever I try to plan something or pick a topic, I feel like I'm bossing my inner being around. And what did you say?
I said I'm going to steal that line because I love that idea. I mean, our inner beings are the ones that are, they're present with us. It's the all the insight and the best juicy moments to interact with someone. So if you prepare in advance, then you don't have that same magic. So I love that. Like, I'm not going to boss my inner being around. It's perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. And every time I go into green room with you guys, which is obviously the holding spot before we push the button to go live, something really juicy happens. And I go, oh my God, we should have pushed the button like 5 minutes ago. And I think that's the way of my inner being just saying, hey, this is going to be great. This is going to be juicy. This is going to be impromptu. And there's no need to be worried because it's just going to flow. But on that, so when I first thought about doing these high vibe chats, Noah had sent me that mastermind link of this hot seater who was asking about what is mastermind. And they basically explained that so Annie has an inner being plus Annie and Carrie has an inner being. And when the 4 of us come together, we are co-creating and we are hooking up to source energy and we're hooking up to the master mind. And my favorite saying lately has been, well, clearly I was outnumbered 3 to 1. Because right? Because when you connect with high vibe people who are speaking your language, like you said, your resistance to things that you normally have resistance to is lowered. Like Noah sent me the juiciest message yesterday and I responded back. I go, well, clearly I'm outnumbered 3 to 1 and I can finally like hear it and receive it, right?
How nice that you're so sensitive to be able to realize that. Isn't that a gift, to know that about yourself?
Yeah, I would say post cruise, what kind of what you were saying is once you start having these high vibe chats and you have these amazing friends, and I was just thinking, wow, the conversations that you and your husband Kevin must have must be like the charts because you're always connected to something more. But like you said, once you experience it, nothing less will do, quite honestly.
Yeah, it's I think and again that contrast of being in that cruise and day after day having the workshops, but really it's the people, it's the entire experience. And I feel like I'm curious about your experience though. Coming back, like it really lasts for a while and a lot of parts of it, but then like little snippets of maybe people from the past might pop into your life, and it's almost jarring because I've had a couple of those experiences where I just have to walk away sooner or change the
Ooh,
subject or, say
I
no to,
love that. Maybe walk away sooner. More vibrational snobs.
yeah, vibrational snobs. Right. Yeah. What magic has come from you since the cruise? What is your,
Um, I would say exactly what you're talking about is that so this was a big year for me. I have never done a cruise. So I did Caribbean cruise and I came home and I couldn't stand myself. I was so fucking happy to be honest. Like I was with my trainer one day and she said something about, I don't know, politics or something mainstream. And I just looked at her and I go, I don't know. I'm so fucking happy. I can't even comprehend what you just said. Like
yes, that's so good.
it was
Yep.
not to her and it was not to be rude, but it's this vibrational snob that once you start having these high vibe conversations and this high vibe lifestyle that you just don't have any tolerance for not feeling good anymore. And it's not to say that we have perfect lives when we come home, because like you said, you know, we run into old ruts, but I think um, I don't have as many old ruts anymore. I think that as I tune my thoughts and my point of attraction, and not even so much my meditation practice, because that's become the norm. Like, I could not even fathom a day where I don't connect and meditate. In fact, I'm working on every moment hanging out with my inner being. They've been talking a lot about that in Abraham now.
Ooh, I'd love to hear more about that. I haven't been watching Abe Nows.
Oh, okay. So I think 2 sessions ago, today is October, whatever today is. So not the October one, but I think the last September episode. Somebody was asking a question about a challenged relationship that was not, not what they would want it to be. And it's always us, right? Like how
Right.
we see the person is what affects the relationship. We're not living not provisionally, I forgot the word, circumstantially, but it's us. And so when we begin to see people like our inner being sees them, then we begin to shift the energy and they have no choice but to show up like their inner being sees them because they're outnumbered, right?
Yes. Oh, that's so true. Yes, that's an ongoing process. I feel like for me is to continue to remember to see through the eyes of our inner being, our source, or whatever. But when you do that, it
Yes,
really changes everything. I mean, it changes. Yeah, they
it
no longer have.
changes. Absolutely, it changes everything. And so what had happened is several people had emailed in, of course, like, oh, my partner's driving me crazy, or my coworker, or the this or the that. And they just said, let's play a game. Let's call it the inner being game. And from now on, you're just going to see life like your inner being says, right? So like here, it's easy to go, okay, inner being, what are you experiencing right now? And we're experiencing like this one's easy, right? But when we think of a person who we're thinking of that it's challenged, or a relationship that's not where you want it to be vibrationally, they're like, pretend you are your inner being. How does your inner being feel for what your inner being feels for that person? And that's kind of juicy, right?
Really good. Really good. Yes. Yeah, that kind of gives me some tingles down my legs. It's just, yeah. Um,
That's it. The tingles down the legs, the thrill bumps, like Esther talks
mhm.
about. And like I said, I've had a banner year. I did Caribbean cruise, and then I jetted off to Scotland last minute, and then Asheville, of course, and then Canadian cruise. I literally manifested Canadian cruise on Monday evening, 20 minutes before what's her name walked out of her office. And it's just this, I coined it the other day, just an Esther lifestyle. Like,
Mm, mhm.
just living a life like Esther. And
Yeah.
by that, you know what I mean, right? Do you want to tell the coffee and jewelry story? Because I feel like I've told it 100 times. It was one of the first stories that Abraham gave us on the Canadian cruise. And I
Right.
just thought it was so impactful. And it teaches us what a day in the life of Esther looks like. Do you want to tell that
Okay,
story? Do
okay.
you feel comfortable?
I'll try. I'll try. I remember it. You'll probably remember other parts, but what I took out of it, I remember that Esther was making her coffee, or about to make her coffee, and she had she had her jewelry nearby, and she had some kind of impulse, or I think idea, something that to move her jewelry to protect it, but she kind of questioned that, like, why would I do that? There's nothing going on there. I'm not going to do that. Anyway, she's going to brew her coffee. She walks away and then comes back, and the jewelry is covered in coffee, and didn't realize that the coffee cup she had was turned upside down. It wasn't it wasn't the right way, so the coffee wasn't pouring into the cup. And so then she's asking Abraham, she's connecting later and being like, why didn't you just tell me to, turn the cup upside down? And Abraham's telling them, like, that's not something that's so important to you. Your jewelry is important to you, and that's what we gave you the impulse to think about. That's what I got. And there's been so many times in my life where I feel like I've I've not trusted my intuition, or I listened, I heard one of those nudges, and I didn't do it. But then it was so clear afterwards that I feel like that's a brilliant move to make. I feel like that's a really, like, next level manifestor move, is to ignore your intuition, and then to see that actually that was like a really good, because you wouldn't have known if you had trusted it, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that
Mhm.
that was brilliantly said. And that's what I derived. Although I'll be honest, like when I was sitting in the crowd, I did not like fully get it. And that's the magic of doing multi-day event or cruises, where you get a nugget and you're like, I think I absorbed that. But like a teacher in college, they're going to keep moving on. Like they're not going to like stop and let you think about it. They're going to keep moving on. And that's okay, because words don't teach, experiences do. So I have thought about that almost every day. And you're right. It's about getting those impulses, ignoring those impulses, and recognizing, oh, yeah, I did hear that. I did hear that. My guides are talking to me. Your guides, your angels, your inner being, your non physical friends. I tell you, since Canadian Cruise, I've really just let go of calling a spade a spade. Fuck it. Sorry. Non physical team. I have a big team, and I talk to Jerry all the time, and I talk to, and it's stunning to me that I've followed Abraham Hicks for probably 20 years. I think I've been a student, but like I said, this was a big year going to events, but it's like they are constantly offering us in the now, hey, move your jewelry, or hey, why don't you get in the car and go to Aspen? Or hey, why don't you, I don't know. We're always being fed through our personal path of least resistance, not somebody else's, right? So do
That's
you want to expand a little bit more on that, like the moving of the
that's
jewelry, but how personal it is?
oh yeah, that's so beautiful, because it is personal, because Abraham's teachings, of course, resonate deeply, and I've also been listening for maybe 15 years or so. I started going to events in, I think it was 2018, when they were coming to Asheville. So I did that and then joined a cruise. But anyway, the message, of course, deepens over time. But when you really start to have your own connect, I mean, really dial into that your own connection to your inner being. And I feel like that takes time to cultivate because it's so subtle at first. It can be just the tiniest little impulse, and it's not even words. Everyone experiences it and hears it differently from what I hear. But once I could start to lean in to that feeling and actually trust it and follow it. Then I feel like it gets louder and more obvious to me, and
Mm.
that's like, I think it goes hand in hand with my creativity because I'm an artist and a writer and a dancer, and it's when I listen, I'll hear just a tiny little flicker of an idea or a word, but if I sit and listen a little bit more, then the more comes out of it. And once I realize like that is the same connection that I have in all of life. If I'm feeling this impulse, I'm taking a walk, turn right now, and then I run into someone who's wearing the design with my T-shirt. That actually happened like a few weeks ago. One of my
Awesome. Oh my God, that's so great.
yeah, I rarely see that, but I had the impulse at that moment to go, and then at first it didn't register. I was like, wait, and I went chasing after them and just had this really fun, manifestation.
Oh my
So,
God, I think that's so great. And did you get a photo?
no, I didn't, but we exchanged numbers and we're gonna hang out. It's so funny. So
Oh, ah,
I should have taken
see, and that's
it.
how
Yeah.
exactly it works, right? It's like, oh, we exchange. I'm cooking in the sun, so I have to move. I'm sure when I look back on this, because you guys, I can't see myself when Annie is talking. It's interesting because this was in my vortex. I wanted to be able to travel, but continue my work no matter where I go. So I'm sure when I look back on this video, I'll be like, girl, next time sit still or something. So I apologize. But it's also part of the fun and adventure they're telling me. But it's really amazing, isn't it? You're like, turn right on the trail, and there's a girl wearing your shirt, and then you exchange numbers, and who knows what comes of it, and who cares what comes of it? It's the connecting of the dots where you're like, oh, this is not a coincidence, where we begin to say there is no such thing as serendipity, there is no such thing as coincidence. Like we are understanding how guided we are, right?
Yes, I love that. I mean, synchronicities are so fun, but then when it happens all the time, it's kind of like, yeah, it's a little bit more like, of course I expected that, of course. And then it's really fun to see what you're, because there's just so much that's waiting for us, like thinking about like everything in our vortex that is calling us and waiting for us and bringing us to, calling us this way and this way. It's really fun for me to think about just like what's next. I love what's now, but like what's next? It's a fun thought.
I agree 100%. And that's like what you said, when you hang out with high vibe people, right? Is like, oh, that's so on point. And that's part of it too. After I come home from events, I try to stay connected and continue to surround myself with my high vibe friends and high vibe conversations. And even if it's like 5 minutes, it like renews my juices, or however you'd like to say it. Like I went for a walk with a friend on Sunday, and she was explaining something, and she was frustrated with kind of the non-connected people. And I said, just remember, we're in an anomaly. It was one of my favorite parts about Canadian Cruise, as Abraham literally said to us, "You're an anomaly." How many times can I say that quickly? But we're an anomaly, and we've got to remember that most people don't understand their connection to inner being and how powerful it is. And my question on Asheville stage was, about surprise and delight and the intricacy and the bespokeness. And they're like, you guys, child's play.
Right.
Seriously, running into someone with in the park with your shirt on, child's play. Why
Yeah.
don't you pick some bigger things, basically? And that's kind of what I've been playing with since Canadian Cruise. Is like, okay, I like connecting the dots, but I know there's like you said, there's so much more. Show me, which is kind
Right.
of scary.
Well, you really inspired me because I remember talking in Asheville and you were showing me pictures about like I'm dreaming about the suites, like why not? And, just having the mood boards, the vision boards, and And then I just was a little bit present in some of the chatter beforehand. You're like, yeah, it's like a couple days before the cruise, and I don't have a ticket yet. And I'm like, oh, you're like, but I'm gonna be on there. Like, okay, I'll see her. And then there you were.
And there I was, I tell you. And so I came home and honestly, so that was a big deal. Literally, Tony with Life Journeys, I had messaged her like a couple of weeks before cruise. And she's like, we're sold out and there's a wait list. I go, okay, cool, whatever. Like, put me on the wait list. How many people? She's like 8 or 10 people ahead of you. And I go, okay, well, and I don't want just a regular room. I need a suite, please. And she's like, okay, Carrie. Okay, sure. I go, don't worry, it's fine. Like I no pressure on you personally, but I need a suite, right? So then we emailed a couple of times and then she had emailed me one night and I got a room. And it was an inside stateroom, no window or something like that. And I emailed her back. I even told some friends, oh my God, I'm on the ship. I knew I would get on the ship. And she emailed me back the next morning. And she's like, sweetie, no, that's not how it works. She goes, I email you and you have a matter of hours to get back to me. And then I have to release the rooms to the cruise ship. So no room for you. And I was like, eh, honest to God, I was not worried. I really wasn't worried. I was like, okay, well, we just upped the ante as we get closer. And I really I could feel it. I really was not worried. Okay. So, and mind you, I don't have plane ticket book. I don't have hotel room book. I don't have anything booked. Right. So then, I got a clear message like on Sunday. I'm like, you're going. Like, don't bother putting those clothes away on your bed. Pack them in your suitcase because you're going. So then I emailed Tony Monday morning and I said, hey, just to let you know, I am crazy enough that I literally have my suitcase packed and I can go at any moment. And she's like, okay, crazy girl, I'll let you know, but it is Monday, you know? And so I'm sure she thought I was insane. And then I was on on my phone with a good friend Anne, and my phone was beeping and whatnot. And I go, "Oh my God, Anne, I've got to go. It's Tony with Life Journeys." And she's like, okay. So I call, it takes me, the message was, Carrie, you have 30 minutes. I'm walking out the door to leave for the cruise myself. You have 30 minutes. It took me 10 minutes to get her on the phone. And I get her on the phone. She's like, oh my God, I have a concierge class suite for you. And I'm like, we're going to book it right now. And I'm walking out the door and like, I've got to go over to the printer and print out your name tag and blah, blah, blah.
It's that story doesn't get old. It's so good. It's such an example of how you want something, and of course, it's going to work out for you. And I mean, the drama in it is kind of fun too. Just like the way it happened, and then like this last minute thing, but you knew it was going to happen, so you're already packed. I loved it so much. So
I
good.
know, right? And my Scotland story was pretty much exactly the same. I knew I was going to Scotland. Again, no ticket to fly across the pond. And I got same thing. Tuesday night, I heard it's done. You're going. And Wednesday morning, I woke up and there was a sweet girl from London who had messaged me on Messenger and said, oh, I have a ticket and I can't go. And I didn't think I was going to be able to sell it to someone. And I just cried. I literally just cry tears of joy because it's like, holy shit, this is it. Like asking it's given. So be careful what you ask for, huh?
Right. Yeah, that, just thinking more about that celebrity status kind of feeling that you were talking about, like, and
Oh
we were
my God,
talking.
let's talk more about that because you know what? I got that in Asheville and you were sitting right by me. So yeah, let's talk about that. Give me your take because I love hearing the story from other people, right? Because different perspectives. So tell me your version of A-lister and what we had talked about and let's pick up from
Well,
there.
let's see. Okay, let's just start. I'll start and then get it going. But I
Yeah,
was just.
no pressure. Thanks, Carrie.
What are
No
we
pressure.
saying? Um, I remember you and I talked about that at the breakfast table a little bit, and then that actually expanded a little bit into my hot seat on the cruise was like the celebrity status, and I don't know if I articulated it the way that I was thinking it fully, but of course Abraham understood where it just, I mean, on the cruise especially, I felt a more elevation to this feeling of being one and the same with that kind of, I used to see it more as these levels and as a place to reach, but I felt the energy of it more than I ever had. Like that Esther and her entourage were part of my people, like that to see them more often, it was just easy, more accessible. And,
You
um,
know,
yeah,
sorry to interrupt, but I have to because I totally agree because you were part. That's exactly how I would say it is this entourage of not groupies. Like originally I was thinking, oh, like this groupie entourage, but it's not. It's this group of high vibe people who are flying high. And when you get in that stream, you're like, whoa, this feels good. Like we're in the front row, we were together and this is a continuation of Caribbean cruise and it's a powerful like fun like kind of like when they lift the red rope and you go in VIP style you're like ooh it's a vibe and you're like ooh I like this vibe and then you recognize it and you go holy shit, I've always had access to this vibe, the A-lister vibe, and I was holding myself away from it by not allowing myself to think or believe that that was yours.
that is exactly it. Yeah, I see people walking by.
Is
Um,
that great?
yeah, I love it. Yes, it's always there if we want it, of course. It's only us that keeps the flow from going, if we're doubting it or questioning it. So when we're
I think
least,
part of it, I think part of it too is wanting better, not wanting better for yourself, but allowing yourself to have better. So when I first got the Canadian cruise yes from Tony, it was like an inside stateroom, no window. And obviously there was a part of me going, well, that's not what was in my vortex. I literally made a vision board that had retreat level, right? So the retreat level has private bar, private community area, private restaurants. And on the other ship, I stayed in concierge class. So there's no coincidence that the original room that they had for me didn't work out because I
just bounce.
got right,
Yeah,
right.
wasn't a
Um,
match.
it wasn't a match. And when you align with that, you're just like, oh, I get it. So the vibe kind of started for me in Scotland. In Scotland, there's 2,000 people and they line up at like 3 o'clock in the morning to go into this event center to get front row street seats, excuse me. And my good friend Anne Marie, Anne Marie from Manchester, she messaged me on Sunday and said, hey, get me a seat. And I said, well, this girl's hungover and got to get breakfast. And so, like, don't expect front row, but I will definitely hold a seat for you. Right. And I get in and I'm like, fine, we're like two sections back, whatever. And then she messages me and she says, where are you? And I said, I'm way back here. Your seat's ready for you. And she goes, no, man, we're up front. We're in the second row. And I was like, what? And she's like, we're in the second row. Marlene got up at like 3 in the morning because she loves this shit. And she's got us a seat right here in the front row. And I was like, well, then you go talking yourself out of it, worthiness, right? Like,
Right.
well, it's okay. I'm fine back here. I don't thank God I said yes. She's like, get your ass up here. Thank God I said yes, because there is a different vibe. Like you were saying in Asheville, which by the way, Marlene held my actually it was a combination. Marlene still gets up early, but same thing in Asheville. And I realized it's a vibe. There is definitely a different vibration in the first 3, 4, 5 rows because those people are most anxious and ready and excited, whereas the people who come in later and don't care about sitting front row and believe there's no right or wrong. I'm not But the point of
Yeah.
this is obviously not that I'm saying, oh, you have to be there and you have to be front row and this is the popularity contest. It's the exact opposite. It's about selecting your vibe and going, oh, yeah, that does feel good. And I like being part of the group. Like you were saying, there's lots of us and we're holding this energy and it's an A-lister energy and that feels good. And then once you felt it, you're like, oh, that's what this feels like. Okay, yes, please, more of this, please. Right?
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
Um,
I love that building before. So I loved going in the front. I love sitting in that energy. I mean, part of the fun of the cruise is getting to meet these getting to meet high vibe people and the people who are eager, just like you said, like eager to be there in the front and like absorb every ounce of that energy and excited to ask a
I
question. Of course, we're gonna, rendezvous and all get in the hot seat because it's
that's exactly it. That's where they're taking us. It's that high vibe energy. You said sitting in the energy, and it really is. It's like you're either sitting at this table or that table. And again, there's nothing wrong. This isn't like high school lunch class where you're like, oh, you're sitting at the popular table, but it's vibrationally choosing. Ooh, this one. It's almost like choosing which merry-go-round you're wanting to be on, like the merry-go-round in the park where they talk about where they speed it up or slow down and the kids are already on the merry-go-round and it's going at this speed and you vibrationally, oh, they just gave that to me. Okay, thank you. You vibrationally want to get up to speed with that merry-go-round and you're saying specifically, I want to get on that merry-go-round with those kids because it feels good. And what they had said in Scotland is there was an actor and don't remember what his question was, but he they said, do you think A-list actors, and this is where I got the clarification, is in Asheville. So in Scotland, they said, do you think A-list actors go into an interview or a call or a tryout or whatever they call it and go, ooh, gosh, I hope they choose me. I don't know. Am I dressed okay? No, they walk into a room going, I'm Nicole Kidman, and I'm wondering, and they're feeling it out. Like, are you a match for me? And I was like,
mm,
isn't that a different vibration?
ooh, I like that. Really owning it, because um yeah, when you're feeling when you know that feeling when you're really in that high vibration feeling, things just come to you. It's so you don't have to go chasing things. It's just a match. So it magnetically, and that's another thing about being. I've been really just not going after things. Things have just been magnetically bouncing into my experience, and that's the A-list energy, right? It's
That's
just
the A-list energy where people are calling you going, hey, do you want to go to this restaurant? Hey, do you want to get on this ship? You guys, I got a concierge classroom and don't tell anybody, but the price was way less than what it should have been. She's like, I don't even know why this is happening. I don't have any time to dig into this, Carrie. I'm literally just going to charge your card on file. We're not going to ask any questions. And we're just getting you on the boat. Like things just start happening for you. And I think when you imbibe that feeling to that A-lister feeling, you dress differently, you think differently, things begun unfolding for you and then it becomes your, as Abraham teaches us, it just becomes expected. I knew I was getting on Canadian Cruise. You expect it.
you expect it. Yes, and it's there's no I mean, we all know there's no forcing it. You are inspired to dress differently. You walk differently. You speak differently, and yeah,
It's your
everything.
point of it's your
It's your
point of attraction. And when you switch your point of attraction, your mood, POA, then law of attraction begins delivering to you differently. And this has been such a huge thing for me is picking my point of attraction. It's like, okay, it's A-lister energy. And because it feels good, because that's where what I want. When you change, when you pick that vibe, it's a vibe, right? And you have fun with it and you choose your point of attraction, then law of attraction comes along and delivers you more. And they're like, ooh, would you like this? Ooh, would you like that? And what about this? And what about that? And you're like, holy shit. I am just like, here's the vortex out. Oh, the leaves. Oh my God. I was going to say, You're plucking it out of the vortex. And then the leaves started falling as I started doing that.
That's so funny. I was noticing that as it was happening. It was such a beautiful. I'm like, wow. And then I love that you saw it too. Yeah,
They
amazing.
just they just said that is co-creation at its best, and they love humor. They love humor. And you guys, this is why it's like being in the moment. Like you can't script that shit, right? It's like when somebody's phone rings and it's of course timed perfectly appropriate and Abraham's like, there you go, there's your call. You know what I mean? Like you can't, this is co-creation at its best. And once you've had a sip of this Kool-Aid, you're like, okay, that I don't want anything less because there's so much more to come,
Right.
so much more. And that was my epiphany this week is like, okay, so I manifested Scotland on Wednesday. The event started Saturday. I manifested Canadian cruise like in a matter of minutes.
Mhm.
And it's like, okay. And again, on my question on stage with Asheville was like, how do we get more? And they're like, it's momentum, momentum. And so now I've had this clarity since I've been home. um, it's just like there's so much more. It's great to manifest these things, but that's still child's play. So then you begin to kind of like sheepishly look in your vortex a little bit more and a little bit more, and you're like, okay, I'm ready. And then you're like, wait, wait, wait. Okay, I'm ready. Right? Right? Does that
Yes.
resonate? Does that resonate?
That's so good. I love that. Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's a perfect way to just, yeah, think of it, looking in the closet, looking into my vortex. Oh, am I ready for this? Yes, yes. Sometimes I
And
feel
it's
like holding back, but like no, let it flow.
because it's kind of scary, right? Like I had that epiphany the other night. I was like, this is kind of scary. And they're like, literally, why are you afraid? You are walking every day with your inner being. You hear us. When we tell you move the jewelry, you hear us. So what do you have to be afraid of?
Mm, exactly. Yeah.
I don't know, all that old baggage and fear and doubt and right? Like all the
Yeah,
right?
it's the old patterns, the old stories, but that's the other thing about the cruise, that like the discernment, the all that old stuff fades so much in the background when you're in that vibration, that thing that
Yeah.
feels so clear. That's why I feel like at the most that hasn't happened all year happens in that week. Even not
Yep.
even doing, like I got emails that week for work things. There was new friendship things that were happening. It was
Yes, life unfolds when you go there, and then you realize that that struggle that you were like, ooh, holding on to, like we said at the top of the hour or top of our video, it's like, okay, well, I don't really want to boss my inner being around because they could do it so much better than me. So it's like, ooh, just let go and let it flow, man. Just right. Because when you do, it's
yeah.
surprise and delight. It's always magic. It's never unwanted.
That's so true. That is so true. And there's, yeah, that we could have a whole nother hour talking about every time that we've let go and how much magic has happened, because it's
Well, sadly, we only have like 15 minutes
yeah.
or less with you. What would you say if you had to pick three things from your now perspective? Because when you like tomorrow's going to be different, tomorrow's going to different. We're always in our point of now. But if you had to pick three things today from your now perspective, what were the three most magical nuggets from Canadian cruise specifically? Like,
Ooh,
what are you working on, thinking about, kind of? Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, so one is that hot seat energy, because I've there was that the feeling that when you know that you're going to be in the hot seat, that to me is such a validating feeling, because that's the feeling that I know when I'm on the edge of a different kind of manifestation. So it's such a confirming thing, because of course that's the thing when you go into Abraham, and
I
it's
totally agree. And sorry to interrupt, but the first thing I
yeah.
said in Asheville when I got on stage, which I was right after Kevin. So I
Oh yeah.
started feeling the A-lister energy, and then Kevin got on stage, your husband, and then Tarek got on, and I knew I was next. I knew I was next. You just know. right? And like you
Yeah,
said, the validation of it too is
right.
really,
It
really
is it's a
juicy.
nice thing to feel a few times because then it just points out the times where you're yearning a bit too much or being like, oh, I really want this, or focusing a little too hard on the question, where that's
And
not the
how,
energy of.
right. And how does that transfer to daily life? Because like now we are master hot seaters. We know we can go to any event. Like my hairstylist was like, "Oh, you were on stage." And I was like, "Oh yeah, like that's just a given. Like if I like that's just a given these days, right?" So how does that translate
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
you in real life? Because like you said, like hot seat's great and all, but I have my inner being in the now. So it's hard to come up with questions for like Abraham now because my inner being's always answering them for me. So how does that hot seat energy translate in your daily life?
So yeah, so I use that as a way to remember that the way to get something that you want is to let it go, or it's to release that resistance to it. You'll still hold the desire, of course, the desire is calling you, but if there's somebody that I want to call me or text me, if there's something that happens, I know that I'm just gonna not think about it or let it go, and I feel that energy shift when so that's something I've noticed. That's definitely something I've been playing with more since.
I like that a lot because a lot of people here and a lot of our friends have businesses or things that it's just relatable, right? So that's a really good point is all you have to do is think about that person and flow some energy, get in the feelings place and it just opens up, right? Whether it's
Yes,
customer or friendship relationship or whatever, romantic.
right, right. Yeah, and so that's really good. The other thing that, so you said I went with a bunch of friends, and it's true. I went with actually one friend who I met on the Alaska cruise last year. We only met once in person, but we continued on with audio messages. We had one of those love at first sight kind of moments, you know. It's just
Yes.
love built over
Yes.
here, and we kind of were joking about coming on this cruise. We were telling stories back and forth about it being, and then it was just the same kind of idea with you, just like one button, like click, okay, we're on, you know. So we show up, and another friend who we had met before on that cruise surprised us. We didn't even know
Oh.
coming on the cruise, but then she was roommates with another woman who we like a lot of us had maybe known of but hadn't really gotten to know, so then we got to know her, and then she connected us with two other, so then the six of us became this really magic portal of energy. It was just the easiest
Ooh,
thing.
I like that magic portal of energy.
Thank you. Yeah, it was the easiest friendship that I've ever experienced in life, the easiest where everyone is just being themselves, and it felt, you know, when it feels like so easy to just like snuggle with your friends kind of thing. Like it's just like just to be in there and to let them be, it just, everyone was adding
You
to it
know,
unique and
the magic word you said is ease.
mhm.
And as I look at some of these things in my vortex with a little bit of trepidation, maybe not full fear, right? It's the ease that Abraham is always, always, always. They never say it's going to be hard, do they?
No, it's never hard. It's never hard.
It's going to be ease and it's
Yeah.
going to be surprise and delight and fun and downstream and feels like the next logical step, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then you
Yeah,
experience
exactly.
it and you're like, holy shit, that was easy. It was, we just said yes and we just clicked and then we were in and then we got surprised and then it flowed and there was no upstream battle. There was no, it's just next logical step, easy downstream. And then yeah, we're still surprised when it happens, right? It's like, how could there
We
be
are.
six of us flowing this easily? I feel like I've known them forever. How could that
Yes.
be so?
That's exactly what we're all saying. And we're all saying, like, oh, I kind of wanted it. I always wanted like a group of girlfriends that was like this. You know, we all kind of said that. We're like, oh, we must have all been calling each other here because we all ended up on this ship together at the same time without partners, or, you know, it's just like we were there at the same time.
Right, without contriving too,
Yeah.
because that happens, right? We all have had
Right.
friendships and relationships and groups where we're trying to, and even Esther talks about this, like she was trying to get a Thanksgiving together and nothing was, it was like herding cats. And then it just comes together with ease and surprise and delight, and it's so good. It's beyond your imagination good. Um, Gosh, there was that, and once you start flowing there and playing there in that downstream ease. So right before my call with Amanda Patty, our beautiful Irish friend, I got from my inner being, from my guides, that the gondola, so I thought it was gondola, like ski resorts up high, because I live at the bottom of a ski resort. And we have gondolas that fly overhead. And
Uh-huh.
and then I chat GPT'd it. I posted it in Circle. And then I chat GPT'd it. And they're like, no, gondola, like Venice, where you're in the boat and there's a guy on back and he has a paddle and he's doing the work and the guiding, and you don't do anything. You just lay back. They just said, you two girls lay back on your pillows and enjoy the view and the ride and let it unfold. He will guide you to where you want to go. And I was like, holy shit, that's huge, right? And then you began having, you recognize it and you go, this is amazing, the unfolding and the co-creation. And they're like, dude, we told you we were here. Like, why we're here? And you're always in the gondola on the boat. It's just let go and stop trying to paddle the damn boat yourself up the wrong direction, right?
Oh my gosh. I feel like that's a perfect place to end it, because that vision of just, yeah, being taken care of, we're always guided. Just let go. Enjoy the view. That's beautiful.
Yeah. And knowing that your inner being specifically is bringing you to what you want,
Mm,
your favorite food, your favorite, and you know what? You don't know what you don't know. And that's really juicy, right? When your inner being and your non-physical friends line you up with, you're like, oh my God, this is so great. I had no idea. And they're like, duh, we know what you
right.
like.
Right. Perfect. Yeah.
And that's what I said on stage in Asheville. I'm like, oh my God, this is crazy. And they're like, duh, duh. Like, when are you just going to trust us to lead you to all the good stuff?
Oh, I love it. Of course. Yeah. Just
Mm.
trust. So good. Yeah. Thank you so much, Carrie. This is delightful.
Oh, I always love anytime I get to vibe with you, because it's like having a chat in the gondola where we're
And
just hanging out, and you know that it's more than us, like we said, I love the I'm outnumbered 3 to 1, but it really is, when you let go of the resistance, it becomes four, right? And you're just bipping and bopping and sifting and sorting and flowing and blowing.
yeah, so well said. Like all of your beautiful colors
Oh,
behind you is just perfect. Perfect.
oh, I mean, this is just extraordinary. Like I said, there was a little bit of trepidation. I'm like, oh, there's a good trepidation of what is going to happen here. But this was certainly in my vortex where I wanted to travel and play and continue my work while I was on the road. And you are 100% in my vortex. Like you said, high vibe friends, intelligent, not intelligent. Ooh, oh, I was going to say intelligent conversation. And they're like,
And
no, no, no. Infinite intelligence conversations is what they just said. That
it's
feels
perfect.
good, right? Do you just feel your heart warm?
Yes. Yes, I love that. Ooh.
God, I know. And like you said, it's addicting. Once you have this, you can't have a regular conversation, let alone a low vibe one, right?
No. So beautiful.
Well, I can just
Mm.
feel my heart like expanding. And that's what they also want to offer too, is that these conversations is the definition of what they're talking about with expansion. Expansion. Every time we have a good chat with a friend, a lover, a loved one, a stranger, we're expanding. I almost see like we're getting further and further into our vortex, like we're allowing more.
Ooh. Yes, I love that too.
Oh my God. Well, I know you have to go because we have to share you with others, but oh my gosh, I hope to do this again, because when I think of you, I think of instantly being in that stream with you and just picking up and
That's so,
ease.
yeah. I would absolutely love it. It's, yeah, I feel very uplifted just having this interaction.
Uh, well,
Amazing.
I am going to make a plug on your art and your design. We've got her Instagram page tagged within the group, and it is spectacular. I even snagged a screenshot. I hope that was okay because I just wanted people to see the beauty of the colors and you can feel the energy in your work, and it's so delightful. And I can just feel, yeah, I can just feel your energy when I look at your work. So I definitely want to plug that. And if you guys are watching this, go to her Instagram page because it's yummy and delicious and fun, just like Annie is.
Oh, thank you.
Mm.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Yes, I love to share my joy in art. So, mhm.
Yeah, and your joy, your smile, I love. We didn't get to talk about this ahead of time, but I love the light coming in your hair and when you
Oh,
lean into the camera and authenticity. And there, I should have been having my glasses off so everybody can see me. Thank you, Annie. Thank you,
all
thank
right.
you, thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye, everyone. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.